I have a story for you, and that's why I sound so terrible. Hello, everyone. How are you? This should be a fun live stream. I didn't pick out the most serious stories. I picked out some funny ones. I hope you had a great Christmas. I might not be able to catch all of your stream, but just want to say hello. Thank you so much, Michael. I saw you. We're friends on Instagram too, I believe. I did have a wonderful Christmas. I hope you guys did too. Can you hear me okay, first of all? Do I sound okay? Let me know. Yes, I had a really good Christmas, although I came down, oops, good to hear. Yep, I can hear you. Okay, great. I had a weird Christmas. It was really good. Sound good. Okay, thank you so much. Hey, all, sounds good here. Okay, cool. I just plugged in my mic. I didn't get to test it out, so I just wanted to make sure. So Christmas Eve is usually when I celebrate with my immediate family, and then we go to other places on Christmas Day, my aunt's house. And I came down with something. You can still kind of hear it in my voice, although it's not that bad. Good evening to you all. Hope you all had a great Christmas. Yes, I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. I did have a wonderful Christmas, except on the actual Christmas day, I was in a room by myself because I got really sick. Not like really sick. I came down with something. I don't know if it's a cold. I don't know if it's allergies, but I have so many people in my family. Thank you so much that I had to stay home. I do. I'm vaccinated. I have all the shots. Unfortunately, I did it. Hi, beautiful. Glad you are here. Oh, thank you very much. I'm glad you're here too. Yes, I have all the shots. But you can still get it. And I was like, I don't know. Were you back in Virginia? Yes, I was back in Virginia, but I was sick with something, and mostly it was just like, oh, hi, Danielle. Mostly it was just a lot of fatigue, and I just felt something in this area and in my ears, and I was just really congested. So I stayed home. I didn't know if I had COVID or not. Because you know what sucks, even if you're vaccinated, you can still get it and spread it. But anyway, I spent it in my room, which was totally fine. Glad you're feeling better. Yes, I am feeling better. I'm still a bit off. I don't know what it is. Hey, Sarah, glad you're feeling okay. Yes, definitely feeling okay. Was just more fatigued more than anything. Siri, stop it. Why do you always go off when I'm live streaming? I'm glad you're alive. I am alive. I mean, it could have been, for crying out loud, it could have been allergies. I have no idea because I'm not used to the climate here. I have no idea. And even to get, just to be sure, because I'm around so many people, I was going to get a test. So I went to get a test, and it takes forever. And I finally got up to get one. And although like I was pretty sick, they were like, or the nurse I had, she was really nice. Because the place that I went to, I might have had to pay for it unless insurance didn't. Siri works for the government. I think Siri does work for the government. One of my cousins tested positive for COVID. The olds at our Christmas gathering are worried. Yes, I have and that was my concern. I have a lot of olds. Like, I don't care. I'm fine. I know I'm going to be fine, especially this new variant that's going around in like the area that I'm in. There's like a huge outbreak. That's why I was just like, I didn't want to scare anyone or make anyone uncomfortable. And I don't want to be that person, So I stayed home for everyone else. You got your shots. Yeah, I did. But apparently you can still, I'm not worried about myself. I don't care. Even if I didn't have the shots, I don't care. I'll be fine. I'm young and healthy. But the reason I did that was for the olds in my family, as someone just said. But you can still get it and spread it. It's just not as severe if you have your shots. So anywho, I was being careful. And anywho, I went to go get a test. And by the way, like, I couldn't get an appointment to get a test anywhere, so I had to go to one of those urgent care places. And I go there, and I waited forever, but thankfully you could wait in your car. And I get in, and this really nice nurse, I'm talking to her, and she was like, just so you know, you're going to have to wait even longer, like after we check you in, because you actually have to do like a doctor's appointment. And she was like, you don't, and I was like, look, I don't have a lot of symptoms. There's something going on. I'm definitely sick. I don't know what it is, but there's something going on. And she was like, I wouldn't even get, she was like, I wouldn't get she was like, I could get in trouble for saying this, but I wouldn't get the test if I were you. If you're asymptomatic. Did your family drink too much wine like mine? Oh, of course. And that was another thing. I was a little hungover too, but also I've been hungover plenty of times, but also buffering heavy lag. Does everyone else have a lag? Because it seems fine where I am. So let me know if there's a lag for anyone else. For me right now, it's okay. No, but she was like, yeah, so I definitely was a little hungover, but there was something else going on. It did earlier. I don't know why. It's fine right here. Okay, it cleared up. No, I was definitely a little hungover, but there was something else going on, and I didn't want to go to my family's house where the olds are, and I didn't want to be coughing and sniffling and having everyone stare at me and get paranoid. So, but anyway, it was a nice Christmas. It was actually really nice. So I was sick for a few days, and now I'm better. But yes, I went to get the test, and the lady was like, you're going to be here for a while longer. Like, you don't have any symptoms. It's up to you. But she goes, I would recommend you just not waste your time. So I was like, okay, thank you for being honest. I will be on my way. That's all you had to say. So there's that. Okay. So anyway, I'm glad everyone had a good Christmas. It looks like everyone had a good Christmas so far. I will be back more often now. I didn't even drink out all over Christmas. I'm kind of surprised with myself. That's good then. Well, that's good. You didn't drink at all. That is a good thing. Oh, sorry. I just got a text message. Okay. I see what you're saying there, buddy. Hold on. I'm just replying to this. No, I'm not logging in. Okay, I wanted to talk about, have you seen, I figured I'd just pick some like kind of silly stories and we can just make fun of people together and make fun of just the whole woke culture in general. So I picked 2 stories and we're going to go through them. And actually 2 of them I have audio on. So the first one is this Delta Airlines Karen lady. Did anyone see this viral video that went around of this woman on a Delta Airlines flight? I think it was going from Tampa to Atlanta, which is a really short flight. I have flown from Atlanta to varying parts in California. You should be proud of yourself, Chris. It's a really short flight, among others. So, yes, this was one of the airline flights where I was supposed to go to VA for Xmas, but my college classes are too soon. Oh, I say. She's a former Baywatch actress. Yes, and oh my gosh, this story is so funny. I'll play you just a bit of the video, of the audio, but basically there was this viral video that went around over the holidays, or the holiday. And it was of this woman going nuts on an airline towards this. She appeared to me like in her late 30s or 40s. She's 51 years old, I believe. But she is going nuts. She used to be a babe. She a fellow actress. You probably knew her. No, she's a lot older than I am, and not during my day. But she's 51 years old. She used to be an actress. She is now a real estate agent, although her license expired a while ago. Anywho, this video of her on an airplane went viral where she is basically like verbally attacking this elderly man who's sitting calmly in his seat, and he has his mask down because he's clearly eating and drinking. He has food and water right in front of him, so he's actively eating and drinking. And she's telling him, put your mask on, put your mask on. And it gets to the point where she basically assaults him. She hits him. She scratches his face. You can see that he's bleeding on his face, and she spits on him. But the irony is she's telling him to put his mask down, but the whole time she has her mask completely down. And she's standing up in the aisle yelling at him. Her droplets are just going all over the plane, telling him to put his mask down. Well, now we have more information about it, so I'm going to tell you. And by the way, she did get arrested by the FBI as soon as they landed. And a lot of people were like, why is the FBI involved? Why would they get involved? You have to understand, like, you do not mess around on planes, especially after 9/11. Like, you don't mess around on planes like that. Like, that is, they take it very seriously. And so, yes, the FBI will get involved if you act a fool like that on an airplane and threaten people. But anyway, here's a bit of the audio. Let me see if I can find it for you. So this is her yelling at him. Okay, so you can actually hear more of him than you can of her, but she's all up in his business saying, put your mask on right now. And he goes, you put your mask on. And then this guy is a total legend, by the way. I think he's either 69 years old or I think he's either 69 years old or 80. I've seen two different ages. Okay, there we go. But she's yelling at him and getting in his face while her mask is completely down. And he goes, sit down, Karen. And that's when she gets really mad. And actually, when he said, sit down, Karen, everyone starts laughing. And that was the irony of the whole thing. The entire time she's yelling at him, her mask is all the way down. She's not even wearing her mask. And she's standing up yelling in front of all these people, just spraying all her Karen droplets all over the airplane. And I don't always like the term Karen, but in this instance, this is what it is. So it says, the reason this started, the whole thing started, so the video went viral, and all we saw was, oh, yes, and then she spits in his face. Thank you for that point. She also spits in his face. So this is clearly, we have seen this happen so many times where people are going ballistic, yelling at other people. Yes, it stinks. You have to wear masks in places. Karen droplets. Yes, it stinks that you have to wear masks in places, but it's just something that we all have to do. And it's not your job as just a passenger on the plane or just a person in a store or a pedestrian on the street. It is not your job to be policing everyone and telling them to wear a mask. And a lot of these people, they're so angry because they see someone that's not masked or that is not wearing it properly. And then what do? They get even closer to that person and then yell at that person. So clearly, to her, this was not about safety. And clearly to people that do this is not about safety. And I'll get more into this in a second because it's actually hilarious how this started. Now we have way information about her and way more information about how this started. And it's just awesome. But this happened to me in West Hollywood, California. So we were at the height of the lockdowns. This was the summer of 2020. And at the time in Los Angeles where I was, we had an outdoor mask mandate. So if you were in like a public space outdoors or on like a crowded sidewalk, you were supposed to have your mask on. Unless you were exercising, that's where it was exempt. Like if you were it didn't make any sense basically. So if you were exercising, you were okay. And anyway, so every day I couldn't go to work or anything like that. So every day I would go on a walk, and that's what I did every day. And I had gone on a walk. I went to the store and I was walking back to my apartment. And and by the way, and from where I was to walk back to my apartment, you're walking uphill, and it's like in the dead of summer. So it's pretty hot outside. It gets pretty hot in Los Angeles. So I'm walking uphill back to my apartment. I'm in a residential area. There's no one on the sidewalks except for me and like maybe another person walking their dog across the street. Like that's how empty the sidewalks are in this area. I get to a point where, and I at this point my mask is off. There's no one around me. It's a residential area. It's not a crowded sidewalk. So I'm at this point, I'm like a block from my apartment, and I'm at a crosswalk. So I'm waiting for the crosswalk to turn so I can go back to my apartment, cross the street, go back to my apartment. I'm standing at the crosswalk. I'm facing the intersection, just waiting for it to turn my way. Turn my way. I'm waiting for the light to go on so I can walk. And these two guys start coming up behind me, and I'm at a corner, and they are coming up behind me on the corner, and they're getting ready to turn right behind me and go the opposite way. So I see them coming. I'm not masked. Again, there's no one on the sidewalks, and I'm in a residential area a block from my home. So I see them coming behind me, and I actually move so that I can give them more space. So I'm at the crosswalk. I'm not even facing them. I'm facing out towards the street. They're coming behind me, getting ready to go the other way. So I move to give them, I actually move like into the street almost to give them space. And, I'm sitting, and my headphones are on, so I'm sitting there. And as one of the guys, so they were walking behind me, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, one of the guys, it looks like he's talking to me or something, like he's coming in my direction. I'm like, what is going on? So I lower my music, and all I hear are a bunch of curse words, and his middle finger is in my face, and he's getting closer to me, cursing me out and putting his middle finger in my face because I'm not wearing a mask outside by myself, not even facing him. There was no scientific way that he would have contracted anything from me. And he got closer to me to yell at me. And also, like, this guy was like 6'2". I'm 5'1". Like, I am a pipsqueak. I am nothing. I'm 5'1". This guy is 6'2", and he's like just cussing me out. We're on a sidewalk. No one else is there. This is not a crowded place. This is a residential place. And I even moved to give him space. And you want to know what I did during the pandemic? Because this is what a nice person I am, and this is how silly I am in my brain. I would, if people would walk by me and we weren't masked, I would hold my breath to be courteous. Not because I know that's scientifically stupid, but that's like what a nice and courteous person I am. I would purposely, and not that they could even see that I did that, but I would legit hold my breath. Like, but I was so shocked. I didn't react when that happened, but I was so shocked. But I bring that up because you saw a lot of videos where people would do that to others, and you clearly know it's not about safety. If it was really about safety, he would not have gotten closer to me in order to do that. It's about control. And I honestly think it was because this person, he for sure was a beta male. I was standing on the sidewalk. I was listening to my music. I wasn't masked up, and I was just living my life, and I was happy, and I was feeling free. And I honestly think that's what made him mad. Also, the fact that I'm small. He wouldn't have done that if it was a bigger man. And that really made him mad because he was being controlled, and he was unhappy, and he was struggling, and I was just standing there free, doing my thing, not having a diaper on my face when it wasn't necessary. And it was so funny too, because when I crossed the road, like right when I crossed the road, there was this other like big tall male, and he wasn't masked. And I thought in my head, that guy never would have said that to this guy. He never would have gotten in his face like that, the way he got in my face. Because he's a coward. People like that are cowards. But anyway, that's I think the personality type of the Delta Airlines Karen. So this is how it started with Delta Airlines Karen. So it says, so anyway, as soon as she got off the plane, she was arrested by FBI. She was released on a $20,000 bond. But I do think she's going to face federal charges, as she should. I think they should throw the book at her. I really do. But how it started was she went to the bathroom, right? Keep in mind, this is a really short flight from Tampa to Atlanta. Maybe an hour, maybe a little bit more than that. But this is one of those up and down flights. So she went to the bathroom, and on her way back, the beverage cart was doing the beverage service, so she couldn't get to her seat. And so the flight attendant was like, do you mind just finding another seat until after the beverage service is over, and then you can go to your seat? Because once that beverage cart is going down the aisle, there's really not much you can do. And this is how she responded. She said, "What am I, Rosa Parks?" And so that caught the attention of the guy she was going after. I'll read it to you from the beginning. Cornwall, 51. So this woman, she's 51 years old. Her name is Patricia Cornwall, a former Playboy model and Los Angeles Raiders cheerleader who once appeared in an episode of Baywatch, allegedly asked the flight attendant for help getting back to her seat. But the flight attendant told her to just take an open seat until they were done handing out drinks. At that, and that just reiterates the fact that this guy was eating and drinking. Clearly, they were doing the beverage service. At that point, Cornwall allegedly asked, "What am I, Rosa Parks?" according to the complaint, comparing her situation to a civil rights icon who refused to give up her seat in the front of a bus in Alabama in 1955, even though black people were regulated to the back of the bus at the time. Oh, I think this was in the front of the plane. Her comment reportedly got the attention of an 80-year-old man sitting nearby who told her that he said, "You aren't black, this isn't Alabama, and this isn't a bus." And that's when she lost her crap. This guy, I'm sorry, but this guy is kind of a legend. This is the same guy that said, "Sit down, Karen." This is the guy she assaulted. He also reportedly told her to sit down, Karen, to which Cornwall replied, "Sit down, P-word." Soon the two started a fight that went viral on social media, with Cornwall seen punching and scratching and spitting the older male passenger. She was later arrested at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport by Atlanta police, taken into custody by the FBI. She's been released on a $20,000 bond. Cornwall had previously... Oh, and here we go. Cornwall, the woman, she had previously been arrested back in November for a DUI after she crashed her car into a tree in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida, and started attacking the responding officers. So it looks like this is a bit of a pattern for her. Yeah, during the incident, Cornwall had crashed the vehicle and allegedly got aggressive with the cops who responded. She said she was not hurt and then became belligerent. When she did exit the vehicle, she began going after first responders. Once we stopped her, she tried to fight us. So this woman, she used to be an actress. She's 51 years old. She is single. She's divorced. And she was actually looking to move to Florida from California. And she was looking for a roommate in Florida. So, wow, she's a crazy one. Yes, it's actually quite sad. It really is sad. It is sad. People like that, wow, she's having control issues. And that's what it is. That's why this story really sparked my attention, because it seems to be with all of these individuals, like all of these videos that you saw went viral, like what even happened personally with me. It's an issue of control. And our media has broken people. The media is partially, I think, in some, indirect way responsible for all of this. For one, scaring the crap out of people, not telling them the truth, and then pitting people against each other. It's basically giving crazy people a green light to go out and act crazy with normal citizens. And that's why I don't like it when the unvaccinated or whatever else it is that they say. I call it mainstream media. Yeah. No, they do. Yes, it's totally control. if it was really about health, why would these people, and in every situation, they all get closer to you in order to yell at you and berate you? It's about health. And this one was so ridiculous because the woman literally had her mask under her chin the entire time she's yelling at this man, telling him to put his mask on, and he was perfectly within the rules. You know, whatever you think about these mask rules, he was perfectly within the airline rules. He was eating and drinking, and she was the one that was actually breaking the mask rules by standing up and having it under her chin and then yelling at him, spreading her droplets. She said, "I will put my mask up when you put your mask up. Mask up." She was actually mad because he kind of called her out. Well, she was originally mad because he called her out on the Rosa Parks thing. Someone said the unboosted are the new unmasked. Oh no, well, first it was the unmaxed, then it was the unvaxxed. Now it's the unboosted. Who's moving from a blue state. That's another interesting part about this story, LG. She's moving from a blue state to a red state. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder if it's those policies. Okay. I still have to go through my mask phase. So yeah, Candace, okay, so but before we go to this next one will be pretty fun because I have audio and I want to go through the audio and then I'm going to comment on it as we go through it. But someone just brought up, so we talked about this in one of my last lives, but Candace Owens did an interview with Donald Trump and they were talking about the vaccine, and a lot of people said that Trump dragged Candace Owens, or like he told her on the vax thing, because Candace Owens is, I don't think she's anti-vax, but she's just been very vocal about how she will not get this one. She's not anti-vax, actually. She's said that many times, but she will not be getting this one. And of course, we know that Trump is the one that rolled out Operation Warp Speed, and the vaccines that we have right now got developed under him. So they were interviewing, and he was, being positive with the vaccine and stuff like that. And I think she got dragged by two parties of people. I think she got dragged by her people for not pushing back at him. And I think she got a little bit dragged by like people on the left that were saying, oh, she got owned. And I don't think she got owned. I think they were just having a conversation. But what was a little odd is she made a video responding to this. And let me know what you guys think. I don't know if you watched it. So she went on Instagram Live responding to this. And her defense of Trump still being pro, and I'll say his vaxes, because Operation Warp Speed happened under him, so this was something that he was really proud of under his presidency. And whether or not you agree with it or not, this is just something he was proud of. But he was still very pro, like, yeah, you should get it, you should. And Candace Owens was saying the reason that he still, or one of the reasons he still has this mindset is because he's older. He still watches a lot of the mainstream news. And that was what she said, and a lot of people were a bit taken aback by that. Someone said, are you ready to leave California yet, Sarah? I don't know. We'll see. Probably not quite yet, but probably in the near future. I'm not there right now, but I will be going back for a little bit, and then I'll have to make longer term plans. I think that's a really good point. So Lance just said people that talk about Candace and Trump are the ones that need to have their own beliefs supported. I think that's a lot of it too. Like, I just looked at it and I was like, okay, that was a conversation, no big deal. But I agree with that. People want to have their beliefs supported and their beliefs reiterated. I guess to feel validated. I don't know. And if somebody that you follow talks to someone and they make a point that you don't agree with, all of a sudden you are not being hard enough on that person or you support their ideas. I don't think that's true. I just looked at it as a conversation and that was really it. That's really all it was. It just seemed to me like she was pushing him to get him to agree and he was having none of it. Yeah. Yeah. Get out before they throw you in a camp. I'm vaxxed and boosted, but support people who don't. I agree with that, Glenn. Do you think Trump will lose voters? Unfortunately, I think he will. He hasn't lost mine, but unfortunately, I do think Trump is losing his momentum with people. I don't know how many people, but I do know that he is losing his momentum with people. Trump said your choice. Exactly. That's what I got from it. I got Trump being, and I think you can. I think you can think that the vaccine is a good thing, is a good option for people, but you can also not agree with the mandates. And it really bothers me because there are some people that say, well, if you had it, then you're weak. If you had it, then you're weak. How is that any different from the totalitarian left? You know, I believe in choice. Okay, it's out there, it's available. You either believe in it and want to get it, or you don't. Or maybe you think I'm young. I'm not around anyone that's at risk. I don't want to do that. That's cool too. An individual choice. I don't criticize my grandma. Exactly. Lance said, I just love that Brandon is slowly re-implementing Trump's policies. I know. So he's already starting to do reconstruction on the border wall. Brandon is Joe Biden, by the way. He's no longer Joe Biden. He's just straight up Brandon. Okay. So just so you all know. So when we're talking about Brandon, we're just straight up talking about Joe Biden. Yes, he is slowly re-implementing all of Trump's policies. It's hilarious. So we already have Remain in Mexico policy is back, and that thank you to the courts, thank you to the Supreme Court for making a decision. And they are now starting to reconstruct pieces of the border wall. Also, Texas is funding their own border wall because a lot of the land on the border is privately owned. Very smart. A lot of it is privately owned. So they did a deal with a lot of the private landowners, and it's going to be is it privately funded or state funded? I don't know. Correct me on that. But they're going to be funding it. So in Texas, they're going to build their own border wall. And then the Brandon administration is going to be filling in pieces of the border where there are really big gaps. So it is quite funny how they're just re-implementing a lot of Trump's policies. And I don't know if you saw recently, it was either today or yesterday, but Brandon said he basically gave up on the mandate fight. So this is probably a good thing, but you still have to understand that super blue states are going to go super hard on the mandates. But he basically said with the whole situation with our pandemic, he was like, well, I think that needs to be on a state level instead of a federal level, which is actually a win because they were trying to mandate a lot of things federally, and Supreme Court was like, no, you didn't. And they were like, okay, we didn't. Well, no, first they were trying to mandate all of this stuff federally, and it didn't work because the Supreme Court kept ruling against them. And then they tried to shame Americans, and that didn't work either. So now they're like, okay, it'll just be up to the states. Brandon went, let's go, Brandon. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. Brandon is going to retire. Yes, that was pretty funny too. So was it Christmas Eve that happened? It was Christmas Eve or right around Christmas that the Biden administration, they were watching, the Santa, what is it called? It starts with an N. Anyway, it's where you can like track Santa. And Eva's my cat, Michael. they were watching the Santa tracker and people were calling in, and Brandon, the NORAD tracker, that's what it is. Okay. So they were watching the NORAD tracker and people were calling in, and a father called in and said hello to Joe Biden. And he said, okay, I just want to I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. And this was on national television. He said, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas. It was Joe Biden or Brandon and his wife. And they were hanging up the phone call, and he said, I just want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon. And Joe Biden said, that's right, let's go, Brandon. He had no idea what he said. And then it was really sad because, it's just wild to me. So that was on TV, and that video went viral, and then the father was actually filming the same thing at home. So that came out. That video came out, and that went viral as well. And then people were just really angry at this person or this father, and they were calling him an insurrectionist and trying to dox him online and all of this stuff. It was really crazy. Insurrectionist. It was a joke. It's funny. Calm down, Karens. It was. I thought it was even Jill was slow to the punchline. She's supposed to be the chaperone. I know. He doesn't know. Can you please say why you believe Trump is losing support? Oh, because a lot of people are very... It's a lot of it is the vaccine. They think that he's just a salesman. I'm not saying I think this, but I see people think this. It's because of the vaccine. They think that he's a salesman for Big Pharma. So a lot of people, when he was running, he was the one that was like for the people. And I'm not saying this is what I think. I actually don't think this at all, actually. But people think that he has sold out to Big Pharma because of the vaccine. That really divided a lot of people. Maybe not like a giant group of people, but it definitely divided people. Cindy's are worse than Karen's. So that's why I think. And a lot of people don't think he pushed back hard enough on the mandates and stuff like that. I don't share that opinion, but I'm just saying that opinion is out there, and I see it expressed a lot. So that's why I think he has lost support among some people. I gotta work New Year's Eve and day, so I won't be drinking. Well, that's not a bad thing. Trump showed us the deep state swamp creature. Yes, and this is my opinion. Like, first of all, you have to understand, Trump has never been a president. He is not a politician, and he had the world against him. He didn't just have Democrats against him. He had a lot of Republicans that did not want him in office that also pushed back against him. Like, he dealt with a lot. And I think with him never being a politician, with everything that he was up against, I mean, they went after his son really hard. If you've ever seen the movie The Plot Against the President, I highly recommend you watching that. But they went after his son hard, and that's not something that I really knew about. 2A guy says he has betrayed us, Sarah. Yeah, I know a lot of people think that. I just think that, I mean, it depends on who's running. And a lot of people think that Ron DeSantis is Trump could have been. And maybe I agree with that. I don't know. But if it was Trump against Michelle Obama, if it was Trump against I don't think Joe Biden's running again, but if it was Trump against Kamala Harris, I'm going Trump. So it depends on who's running and who has the better policies. And we have to understand that no one is going to 1,000% make us happy. No one's going to 100% make you happy. And there's things that he did that a lot of people don't like. There's things that he did that I don't really like. There's some things that he said, I'm like, did you have to say it that way? Did you have to? But I'm going to vote for whoever the better candidate is and whoever has the better policies. And some people might not like certain things that Trump did. Also, people criticize him because it was 15 days to slow the spread under him, and he's the one that hired Fauci and all that stuff. But I think he did the best he could with what he did. I don't know. And I'm not saying he's perfect, and I agree with everything. Trump and Rand Paul also advocated for the shot. See? Okay. They too are deep state media would be worst. Yeah, so these are also people that, you can be pro taking the shot and advocate for it, but that doesn't mean you're for the mandates. Two things can be true at once. Netflix originals are hard to watch. Wait, are you talking about the plot against the president? That's not a Netflix original. Maybe you're having a different conversation. In that case, I'll show myself out. Dr. Peter McCullough exposed the pandemic on Joe Rogan. Highly recommend. It's on Rumble. Yeah, I've seen clips of that. I haven't watched the whole thing yet. I would like to watch the whole thing. Ben Shapiro is an example. Yes, and he's fighting back. Big Mikey Winfrey. I still support President Trump. I do too. Please learn Kulo Bay on ukulele. Hold on. Before we get to the next story, I'm just going to look that up really. Kulo. Eva for president. Trump, yeah, someone said Kuhio. Kuhio. I'm trying to get to this next story. But now I have to look up these tabs. Trump needs to speak to the doctors exposing the vax toxicity. I'm sure he'll change his mind. Oh, hello, Special K. Oh, that's completely in... I'll have to look that up later. Trump needs to go away. It is interesting to see how his popularity has... It's interesting to see how the opinions of him from his base have either stayed the same or some have shifted since he left office. Okay, I want to... See, I am a little sick. I think he does more harm than good. Well, can I tell you something interesting? You might not know this, but Glenn Youngkin in Virginia wanted Trump to stay away from his political race, and Glenn Youngkin won. They didn't need Trump. Glenn Youngkin run or won, and I think there's something to be said from that, because the ideas of the left and the Democrats are so bad right now that yes, Trump was an incredibly popular president, But he also does, and you have to admit this, even if you're a big Trump supporter, he does hurt in some ways, because there are some people that if Trump is involved in any way, they're going to go the opposite direction. And even if you love Trump, you have to admit that that's true. And that's one of the reasons why Glenn Youngkin wanted Trump to stay out of this race. And they didn't need Trump. They just needed to expose what the left was trying to do. Because you have a lot of, and unfortunately, I think that's sort of what happened in California. Even though it wasn't necessarily Trump, I will say it was just a red-blue. Instead of really pushing certain just moderate things that we all agree on, people just automatically thought in red-blue. And I think that's where the minds go with Trump. It's Trump bad, orange man bad. Anyone is better than Biden. Brandon. Okay, I want to play this. I want to go through this with you because this will be fun. Plot twist, more popular than Lance, more popular than 2A. Don't be jealous. Jump on the Trump train. Well, Virginia was won a lot because of all of this crazy teacher stuff, and a lot of parents came out and voted. That was what got it, because these super leftist policies were being exposed a lot, and it really got a lot of people to come out and vote. So they didn't need him. And I think Glenn Youngkin thought, those moderate voters, the people that would have voted Democrat, are voting Republican now because of all of this crazy stuff. And I don't want Trump to turn those people off. Yeah, okay. So furthermore, just said when our businesses, yeah, that's kind of a turnoff. That happens a lot. Furthermore, said when our businesses were shut down and basically, we were struggling, we kept getting emails like crazy, asking for money from the Trump campaign. Yeah, that's a good point. Both sides have, investments in companies that are making money off of, I'm being careful what I'm saying, but off of what we've been through the past 2 years. Oh, wait a second. Pfizer was named like company of the year or something by, who was it? Was it, I don't know. But it was like, oh, really? Oh, really? Clearly, it's just like clearly you guys are profiting off each other. Like, this is clearly an inside award giving thing. But it's just it's the same exact thing. I grew up reading fashion magazines. I would read like the Glamour and the Cosmopolitan and the Vogue and the Marie Claire and all of these fashion magazines that would always give like makeup tips, and they would show you like cool outfits and new trends. So if you really paid attention, all of like in their articles, all of the products that they recommended were the products that had advertisements in their magazines. So their articles, so they would have advertisements, right? Do I have one? Well, this is like a gossip magazine. Okay. So in a magazine, you have like regular stuff, and then you'll have like a page of advertisements, right? So this is for Slim Fast Keto. And then you'll see like, so you see like this has nothing to do with this. And later on in the magazine, you will see best new like healthy snacks, and the top snack will be Slim Fast Keto. Or you'll have an advertisement somewhere in the magazine for Neutrogena, like clean and fresh apricot body wash. I'm just making that up. And later on in the magazine, you'll see an article that shouldn't be affiliated at all with any advertisement, that'll say best new body washes to make your skin just look like a baby, and it'll be that same body wash. So it's always, everything is always connected. And the same goes with a lot of politicians, unfortunately. You look at the policies that they push, and then you look at who profits from those policies. Sometimes you have to dig a little bit, and then you look at who donated to the politician's campaign. And hello, John from Ohio. And it all comes together rather nicely. It's like putting together a puzzle. Side note, I went on keto 3 weeks ago and lost 18 pounds since. Well, were you eating the Slim Fast Keto snack things? I was reading a gossip magazine, full disclosure. Those are a ripoff, by the way. This thing I paid, that was $5. It was not worth $5. Like, I can look up all this gossip online. Hello from Las Vegas. Okay, let's get into this next story. No Slim Fast, LOL. Keto elevate rocks, though. Oh. All right. So, speaking of viral videos, I want to get into this next subject because it's funny. What's the hot gossip going around? Okay, before we get into the next story, I will tell you the hot gossip. But this is actually hot gossip from, it wasn't that long ago. This is hot gossip from December 6th. Tori Spelling is too broke to divorce. Divorcing, apparently, is very expensive. Hold on. Hello, Brian. Where is this story at? I don't know. Anyway, it was about Jessica Simpson and Tori Spelling. Where's the story? I can't even find the story. Jessica Simpson, is she living a lie? Smiles for the camera but falling apart. How paranoid Jessica is, pushing Eric away. That's her husband. What went wrong, and can they be saved? Sarah, did you see that former Dem Senator Harry Reid passed away the same day as Coach John Madden did? I did see that earlier today. I saw that right. Tori and Jessica dating would be gossip. I did see that earlier. That's very sad about John Madden. I didn't know who that senator was. It was a gripping story. I'm glad you enjoyed all of that. I just read you the highlights. Okay, I want to get into this next thing. Darn it. Okay, so back in September, this was another viral video, another video that went viral, and what had happened was it was on the Arizona State University. Did he take the shot? Reid was a common politician. He was I'm not going to say that. You said it. I'm not going to say it. Rest in peace. So Arizona State University, these students were in what was a multicultural place. Let me read you what happened. Okay. So this is from Fox News, and I hate that they put the race in this, but this is what the girls said. So it says here, 2 white students appearing to be on Arizona State University's campus were confronted over an racist sticker on a computer reading "Police Lives Matter" and were told to leave the area, according to a viral video of the incident. "You're offensive. Police lives matter," a woman who confronts the white male says. The camera focuses on the 2 male students studying at a desk in an area on campus the female student says is a multicultural space. One of the male students has a sticker on his computer reading "Police Lives Matter," while the other student is seen wearing a shirt saying "Did not vote for Biden." And one of the guys says in the video, "We've got a Police Lives Matter sticker and we're getting kicked out. Can't do school." The other students respond. Oh, thank you so much, Lance. Someone unsubscribed because I am supposedly very liberal. This is from... Hold on. Someone unsubscribed because I am supposedly very liberal. This is for some beer to celebrate the clown's departure and the fact that your channel is getting big enough to have trolls. I do get trolls now. Where did they come from? Thank you, Lance. I will buy beer with that. Lance is too liberal. Why can't everyone just be open to other people's ideas? And I know Lance is awesome. Who cares? Whatever. Wait, should I see if he actually unsubscribed? Or her? Why do I always assume it's a man? What am I? Sexist? They didn't unsubscribe. I actually looked at my subscriber count right before I got on. They didn't unsubscribe. The space just became unsafe. Okay, so the students then went on to say to the 2 males sitting there, they said, "Oh my gosh, don't forget the wine." Thank you, MacGyver. I got beer and wine. Actually, no, this is a celebration. It's just in time for New Year. So it's a brand new year. I'm so excited. This was it was a great year. I grew so much. I think I'm going to do a stream like early in New Year's. Oh my gosh, Chris, more beer money. Good riddance. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much, you guys. You're really sweet. I have so much beer money. Oh my gosh. I think I'm going to do a live on New Year's, probably earlier in the night because I know people are going out and doing things. I'm not, but other people might be. But I just wanted to talk about this year and what it's been like on this channel and the challenges, and I think it'll be really good. Crown and Cola over here. Good for you. Where was I going with that? Yeah, it's been a year. Anyhow, let's keep moving forward here. The other students respond and said that the sticker was making them uncomfortable. "You're white. You do not understand what a multicultural space is. It means you're not being centered." And then the student replies, "White is not a culture." And then they say, "White is not a culture. Say it again to the camera." So they said, "White is not a culture. White is not a culture. Say it again to the camera. You think whiteness is a culture?" The girl goes on to say, "This is violence that ASU does not." You're too pretty. Thank you. "This is violence that ASU does, and this is the type of people that they protect. Okay, the white man thinks that he can take up our space, and this is why we need a multicultural space, because they think they can get away with this crap." The student continues, appearing to refer to Arizona State University. Okay, so basically what happened, was there was this multicultural space, which on the video looked pretty empty. And you had two white male students just sitting there at a desk. And one of them had the Police Lives Matter sticker on. Another one of them had the shirt that said, I didn't vote for Biden or whatever. And they were literally just sitting there, minding their own business, doing their schoolwork. And these two girls, these two women approached them and basically started bullying them or harassing them or whatever, however you want to call it. And they were just telling them that you're violence. You have to get out of here. You shouldn't be here. You're two white men taking up this space and blah 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 blah. Basically discriminating on them because of the color of their skin and because of what they had on their computer. Meanwhile, one of the girls also had a Black Lives Matter thing. So the point is, I want to make 2 points. First point, the boys could have been there trolling a little bit because it was like you know what you're getting into when you go in one of those like multicultural spaces. They could have possibly been there to troll just a little bit, but they were being completely peaceful. They were minding their own business and doing their work. So even if that was the reason they were there, they're not hurting anyone, and it is a public university. This is a public space that everyone has access to. These girls have no right to tell anyone to leave, and they were being completely kind and completely cordial when the girls were confronting them. So this video went viral, and this was back in September, and the story kind of went away, right? So the dean did say, the dean of students' office is aware of the disagreement between the handful of students that was captured in a video circulating on social media. The dean of students' office will be discussing it with all involved. ASU is a community of more than 100,000 people from 50 states and more than 150 counties. Differences of opinion are part of the university experience. The university expects respectful dialogue between students and all agreements. Okay, so that was basically the end of the story. It went viral. These girls came across as incredibly obnoxious until just a few weeks ago. There was an update from an unlikely source. And I'm going to play it for you. Apparently, the story was not over. And we know it's not over because one of the girls made both of the girls made an Instagram video. Let me know if you can hear this, by the way. So they actually got in trouble by the school for this. Rightfully so. Sorry, I have been sick a little bit, so my throat gets extra dry when I'm talking. All right. I'm good. Are you good? Disease. It's okay. I'm by myself. There's no one here to catch my diseases. My disease. I will. I'm pretty much better. I just haven't talked this much since I've been sick. Okay. So let me know if you can hear this. This is fascinating. I'm going to be stopping it and giving you my opinion. But these are the girls that did this. Hi, William. Sarah, shouldn't you be wearing a mask? I should have just worn a mask throughout this whole. Be like, I don't want to get you guys sick, so I'm gonna go ahead and wear my mask and be safe. Well, I would feel terrible if I got you guys sick. Thanks. All right, so here are the two girls. They made an Instagram video recently talking about this because they got in trouble with ASU and they're being punished, as they should. They came up to these boys and harassed them. Let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear it?
November 23rd, hateful and racist symbology invaded our multicultural center on ASU's Tempe campus and made the center unsafe for BIPOC students who were trying to study. The two white men, both students, displayed a Police Lives Matter sticker, a Brass Pro hat, a Chick-fil-A cup, and an anti-Biden t-shirt.
That was the violence. Did you hear the violence? a Police Lives Matter sticker, a Bass Pro Shop hat, a Chick-fil-A cup, and an anti-Biden shirt. That is what triggered this whole thing. I don't have words. That's what triggered them. How are you going to get through life? Who raised you? If that is what triggered, tell me you're privileged and you've never actually had any real adversity in your life without telling me that you're privileged and have never really had any real adversity in your life. Okay, let's continue.
The Police Lives Matter sticker was on one of the white man's laptop, which was clearly directed towards a black woman who was leading the black study tables across from him, as the boys chose to sit across from the black study tables. The boys made the space uncomfortable with their nonverbal aggressive gestures directed towards the black woman. The students called for help from ASU, but no one came for over 30 minutes.
No one came for over 30 minutes because they were probably like, okay, well, what happened? Why do you feel uncomfortable? Why do you feel unsafe? Because he had a Chick-fil-A cup and a Bass Pro Shops hat and an anti-Biden shirt and a Police Lives Matter. Well, what are they doing? They're just sitting there studying across from me. Okay. That's why it probably took them 30 minutes to come.
We were forced to confront these men by ourselves.
Nobody forced anyone to confront anyone. You chose to go and bully someone. No one forced you to do that. They weren't doing anything.
This incident, we received thousands of rape, death, and lynching threats on our personal Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and email accounts. It's been more than 2 months since the incident. And
okay, I also want to point something out right here because this is what a lot of people will do. They will, by the way, the original, one of the video came out, the girls were filming the boys and then posted this online. Okay, so they filmed it and posted it online. By the way, if anyone gets threats or anything like that, I do not condone that at all. That's awful. Don't do it. It's disgusting. It's awful. And it's not civil. Don't do it. I'm not condoning that. But this is typically what people will do. They will turn it around and make themselves the victim. What's interesting about this is one of the girls, so I took this from her Instagram page, her Instagram account, which is still up, by the way. And I don't know if you remember, but during the whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing, students at ASU were trying to get Kyle Rittenhouse kicked out of ASU. I don't know if both of them, because I didn't watch all the videos, but one of the girls was basically like leading a protest trying to get Kyle Rittenhouse kicked out of ASU. She was calling him, okay. I'm fine. She was calling him a white supremacist, calling him a vigilante, and basically just outright lying about him. So for you to put yourself in this situation, go and bully someone, and then call yourself the victim, while you're simultaneously lying about someone and slandering someone, it's not vodka. while you are simultaneously lying about someone and slandering someone. And you know Kyle Rittenhouse gets threats all the time. This kid has to walk around with security everywhere he goes, probably for a very, very long time, if not the rest of his life. It's so hypocritical. A good, you're wearing your mask now? With no evidence. Exactly. They're clearly lying about him. None of what they're saying is true. And then they're going to call the victim. And also, well, let's keep watching. I just wanted to point that out, that they're talking about these threats, which any threats in any way is awful. I don't condone that at all. I don't care how much I dislike you or disagree with you. It's awful. But here you are lying about someone who we all know gets threats all the time, and you're slandering him, and you are pushing that narrative that causes people to go out and threaten Kyle. I just wanted to point that out.
Laura and I receive these threats every single day. ASU was aware of how we were getting doxxed and suffering
You doxed those boys. They're the ones that posted the video of these boys.
And emotional violence by white supremacists from across the country, but it still did not protect us. Instead, they launched an investigation against us, and we had to mobilize the community to protect ourselves from being kicked out.
Good for ASU for launching an investigation on them.
By the institution. ASU's investigation found us guilty of interfering with university activities. Dear white people, aka ASU, you openly discriminated against us on November 16th when you handed down your decision from your racially biased investigation.
Okay, hold the phone. So you went up to two kids and discriminated against them because they were white boys and they had ideas that you didn't like. So you're mad that you were not allowed to discriminate. Got it. And now you're calling discrimination because you were not allowed to discriminate. Cool.
We are being persecuted for defending our multicultural center from racism and sexism.
It's not your center. It's a publicly funded school. So it's not your center. It's the taxpayer center.
You gave us two punishments. The first one was a warning, and the second one was to write a 3-page paper on how next time when we talk with white people about race and society, we will be civil. This video is in fulfillment of our educational intervention. We're going to give ASU an educational intervention on why telling students of color at ASU to be more civil in the face of white supremacy and neo-Nazism on this campus.
All right, that's all I got for you on that one. Oh my gosh. But the good news is ASU had a backbone, because we hear so often that at a lot of these universities, they have no backbone. And their students just get away with doing awful things. They cave to students. But ASU had a backbone in this. And yes, one of these girls was one of the ones that was, mobilizing to get Kyle Rittenhouse kicked out of ASU, even though he takes online classes. But I need to read you some of these comments because it's pretty funny. So you see the video, and by the way, can we just say, everyone failed these girls. Their parents failed them. Their administrator, everyone just completely failed these girls. And they are not going to make it in real life if this is how they think. But the comment section on the video, I screenshotted a few of them. This is what the comment section says. I'm just going to read it down for you. The first one says, "Let's go, Brandon." One just says, "Wow, just wow." One says, "Chick-fil-A cup? Ha 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 ha. Nice script." One says, "Kyle Rittenhouse is awesome." And then another one said, "Oh my gosh, his hat said Bass Pro Shop." One said, "These are your future baristas and single mothers." Well, that's kind of mean. After listening to these two girls, it is clear that the academic standards at ASU have fallen drastically since I graduated. But you didn't mind trying to dox the boys. The real world is going to eat you alive if that offends you. Another person said, imagine when they get to the real world and they try to pull this crap at work. So it seems like the majority of the comments understands how absolutely ridiculous this is. These people exist out there. I almost wish the school would have expelled them. And they were right. You're interrupting other people. That is not your space. That is a public space. And they will get positions in BLM management. They want ASU to be political platform just for their point of view. Exactly. They're authoritarian. And what is the definition of a bigot? A bigot is a person that holds contempt for you because of your ideas. A bigot is someone that is intolerant of other ideas. So to those girls, you, a person who is intolerant toward those holding different opinions. To those girls, you are the baddie. You are not the good one. You are the villain. Student unions should be for everyone. Should be for everyone. And this place, if you watch the original video, it looked pretty empty. So it wasn't like they were in this crowded space taking away from anyone that wanted to be there. It was an empty space. No one was there anyway. No, there is no compromise. Again, there seems to be a common theme in this live stream. Again, it's about control. It's not about it's about control. They want control. So it's okay for them to be intolerant while they preach against intolerance. Yes, it's okay for them to be intolerant. It's okay for them to discriminate. Sometimes we have to walk through the dark to see the light. I bet you can't wear a red hat on that campus. Probably not. But it blew my mind, too, to know that, one of these girls this was ASU. This is where they were trying to get Kyle Rittenhouse kicked out. How you can just lie about someone. I mean, red cup. Red wave, let's go, Brandon. Power at any. Sing some chipmunk. I don't know if I can sing that right now. Sarah, did you see a video of mom kicking out her Karen daughter? Oh my gosh, I want to make a video about this. Yes. No, I don't know if I can sing. If I sing right now, I'll probably start coughing. Yes. Oh gosh. Can I find it? Let me see if I can play the audio for you, if I can find it. This is just amazing. Oh my God, Brandon Tatum is calling the Delta Airlines Karen. He's calling her the former Baywatch Karen. Okay. Oh, here it is, but there's commentary on it. I just want the raw video. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay, do you guys want to hear the audio? Do you want to see it? I think I can show it to you.
You legally have to give me a month.
Oh, my light went out. No, this is brilliant. Sorry, my light just changed. Sorry if my lighting's really bad right now. Urgh. All right.
No, because you haven't paid one brown penny.
I'm not up.
Okay, I promise one day my technology will be better, but it just can't be better while I'm on the farm, okay? But I do have better technology, I just don't have the internet for it. Let me make sure. Can you show it? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, you see it? Okay, now we see it. Okay.
You legally have to give me a month.
No, I don't, because you haven't paid one brown penny.
I'm not obligated to, and I can't afford to.
Guess what? Doesn't matter.
You can't just tell me I have 2 weeks to find somewhere.
You've had over a month. And
No, I haven't.
look, you have done nothing but dig your heels in and try and make me feel bad about your...
No, I haven't. I've been trying to educate you.
No, your education is brainwashing.
No, it's not. You just won't listen to me.
No, I'm not going to listen to this crap. Now you talk...
I have schizophrenia.
I don't care what you have. I don't. It doesn't mean we live in squalor. And it doesn't mean you're a bully.
I'm not even a bully. You literally detonate me, misgender me, and tell me that, like...
Did you hear what she said? You literally detonate me and misgender me. So what you can clearly tell is going on in this video is that this is a crazy social justice warrior type kid who probably is like a non-binary and is on the 57th gender or whatever. And I don't know what the gender is, so I don't know what to call you because there's so many. Lives at home, refused to get a job, so just basically lives at home and freeloads and lectures her mom all day on social justice talking points. And her mom's like, not only are you not getting a job and you're lazy and you're laying around all day, you bully me and lecture me all the time and make me feel bad so you can get out. You have 2 weeks to get out. And that's what happened. TikTok has created a display of this stupidity. No, it really has. And this person, I actually looked up this person's TikTok page after I watched this the other week. And there was a video basically explaining, and she was like, I'm just, the reality is I have this thing happening. I guarantee you the mental illness is not even diagnosed properly. So this is just something that the kid was like, I have this. I guarantee you it's not even formally diagnosed. I don't know which one. She looks a bit too old to, yeah. They want to be special so bad. Yeah, so they make, and it's really sad too because you shouldn't be. I mean, I used to work with people that are severely mentally ill. I used to work with people that had schizophrenia. I worked at a I interned at a state-run psychiatric hospital for adults, and I worked at an acute care psychiatric hospital for children and adolescents. So I worked with people that genuinely had these things. I'm not saying this person doesn't, but it's not something you want to wear on your shoulder. Like most people that have gone through things, or most people that have like certain kind of diagnosis, you don't want to be defined. you don't want to be defined by that diagnosis or by that thing. You want to be defined by who you are and what you bring to the table. And that's the way that it should be, because that inspires you to be a better person. And this whole like victim culture and giving people attention for being victims, like actual victims, they don't want to be defined by their whatever victimized them. Like if you've actually ever been a victim of a crime or anything of that nature, you don't want that to define you. You want to be strong. And I don't think it's healthy to want to be defined as a victim. There was a study while we're here. I'll have to get off in just a minute. There was a study done, and I was thinking about making a video about this. I can't remember who did the study. There's actually a study done that saying trigger warning before any kind of content that I guess has, things that could potentially be triggering for some people, but saying trigger warning ahead of time is actually more traumatizing than not saying it. Because when you say trigger warning, you're automatically saying oh, you have been traumatized in your past, even though this content might not have to do with your trauma. I'm going to say trigger warning, and just that alone reminds you of whatever trauma you have in your past. So you're thinking about it when otherwise you wouldn't have, even if that material in particular doesn't have to do with the specific trauma that you experienced. So saying trigger warning in and of itself is actually doing more harm than good. And if I can find this study, yeah, I'm not a fan of the trigger warning, because life doesn't give you a trigger warning when you're out walking down the street, when you're doing anything, when you're interacting with people in real life. There's no trigger warning. And this study, it made a really good point. When you say trigger warning, you're going back and thinking about your trauma when otherwise you wouldn't have. Ow. Most people let their kids control them, honor mother. Yeah. Okay, so here it is. Most of the flurry of studies that followed found that trigger warnings had no meaningful effect, but 2 of them found that individuals who received trigger warnings experienced more distress than those who did not. Yet another study suggested that trigger warnings may prolong the distress of negative memories. And that was in the New Yorker. Yeah, all trigger warnings may do more harm than good. Harvard expert warns that trigger warnings could, and I could totally see that. It's almost like when someone says, I don't mean to be rude, but, and then they genuinely say something that's not rude, but now I think it's rude. Anywho, play victors, not victims. Yes. All right, you all, that's everything I have for you. What time is it? We've been here for an hour and a half together. Yeah, no disrespect, but I'm like, no, well, now I don't like you. Now you're going to disrespect me. And even if they say something that's completely not disrespectful, I take offense to it immediately. Good, because I got to go. Okay, me too. That was 90 minutes well spent. Thank you so much, you guys. That was really fun. In the limbo week in between New Year's. I know it's a weird week. Good night and happy new. Okay, thank you all. Everyone have a really good night. I will see you later. Catch you again. Thank you so much, Kent. Trigger warning, Sarah's about to leave. Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a great week in New Year's. Okay. All right. Bye, you guys. Have a good night. I'll see you again soon. I don't mean to be rude, Sarah, but I like you. Thank you. What do you mean you like my nails? Jerk? All right, see you later, guys. Have a good night. Bye.